Okay, welcome to the in-class presentation for day 2, January 24th. First today, I wanted to talk to you about test-taking strategies. These are just really basic things to know. First, read the entire question. Tests are their own genre of literacy, so even though you may have a good grasp of content, you still need to become literate in the genre of tests, which takes a lot of practice. When you start a uh, a test, I want you to read the entire question before glancing over the options. It might seem like common sense, but you would be so surprised at how much we don't read the complete question. Students often think they know what a question is asking before reading it all the way through, and they jump to the most logical answer. That's a big mistake, and it can really cost you on your test score on multiple choice exams. So be sure to read each question thoroughly before you even look at the options. Now, after you read the entire question, answer it in your mind before looking at the answer options. I know you test on computers most of the time, so you can take your scratch paper, fold it in half, and cover up your answer options. It's going to help you not to read them accidentally. Um, when you read the question and answer it in your mind before reviewing the answer options, it's going to help prevent you from talking yourself out of the correct answer. Next, we want to decrease test pressure. So use the process of elimination. On a paper test, you can cross out all the answers that you know are incorrect, and then you can focus on the remaining ones. Usually there's one that's obviously wrong, there's one that's pretty wrong, and then there's two answer options that one would be called the distractor, and it's meant to kind of distract you from the correct answer and make you think really hard. And then there's the correct answer. So by crossing off the ones that we know are wrong, we don't waste any time looking at them again. And not only does it save you time, it will increase the likelihood that you select the correct answer. Now, on computerized testing, on some testing programs, it's an option to click on the answer option that is incorrect and cross it out. But I don't think that that is how your tests are going to work in Respondus. So what you could do is use your scratch paper and write down, A, B, C, D, and then cross off the letter on your scratch paper so that you don't accidentally pick the incorrect answer when it comes time to make your final choice. So you read the question carefully, and if you get muddled by looking at all the options, you can give each option a true or false test. And this is especially helpful for select all that apply questions. You're going to cross out the false answers or mark off the letter on your scratch paper, and all that you'll be left with would be the true answers. If you're uncertain, don't cross it off. Just see how many you can cross off by doing a true false test for each answer option first. It's important to select the answer to the question that's being asked and not just some answer that seems correct or sounds really good. Often many answers are going to seem correct, but there's really the just one best answer to each question in order to get it correct. Pay attention to the time by wearing a watch. You won't be allowed to wear smartwatches, but you can wear an old fashioned dumb watch if there's no clock on the wall or if you can't easily see the clock. Or you can ask your instructor to write a time prompt on the board, such as when half the allotted time is over or when there's 10 minutes left. I don't see it happen often, but every once in a blue moon, I do see some people get cut off at the end of a test or not be able to answer all of the questions in the time allotted. The last test taking strategy is to practice. So, this article here from the American Journal of Pharmaceutical Education explains how testing can be used as a learning tool. Testing makes you retrieve information from your brain, and it results in better learning than studying and restudying, which is what I probably did that through most of nursing school. As I studied and then I restudied and restudied and restudied. But sometimes we learn information and we don't use it a lot. So it feels like we start to forget that information that we knew at one time. But repeated testing can help stabilize that information by making us pull those little bits of knowledge up and use them again and again. So eventually we turn that marginalized learning into permanent learning. I want to encourage you to use your Saunders NCLEX review book, or maybe you have an app that you like better. And I do know that you can use the Evolve app on your phone to enter a code from your Saunders book, and you can do the Saunders questions on your phone. Do practice questions throughout nursing school and give yourself the gift of enhanced learning and more confidence as you work towards finishing school and taking your NCLEX test. By now, you've heard of Next Gen Questions, which it's a testing format that allows you to demonstrate your higher order thinking skills for the State Board of Nursing, because multiple choice questions and select all that apply questions can only test your thinking to a certain degree. So the Next Gen Questions help you demonstrate your critical thinking skills. The new question formats are available, and you can find information online about them. We will start integrating them into your coursework as you progress through the program. I did put 2 links on the week 3 information in Blackboard. One is a link to an Evolve webpage with very short videos, like 20 or 30 seconds for each of the new question types, just to show you what they look like. And then there's another link to a YouTube playlist by UWorld Nursing that gives you several minutes on each question format that will show you how you are supposed to answer those questions. So I do recommend that you watch those videos for your own benefit and success. I'm not going to force you to watch them in class time. You will feel comfortable when those question types start making their appearance on exams that do affect your grades. Your Module 1 exam for transitions will not have the new question formats. It will have multiple choice and select all that apply questions, but you will need to know how to do the new question formats during this program, and you will have to be able to do them in order to pass your NCLEX test. The next thing that I want to talk about in regards to test taking strategies is the value of mindfulness. And some people may have heard the term mindfulness. And when I ask about that, they say, oh, yeah, you've got to take brain breaks. When you're working on something for a very long time and trying to concentrate, you need to take a brain break every once in a while in order to be able to keep working on that thing. But actually, brain breaks and mindfulness are really very different things. So I'll talk about mindfulness today. If you struggle with test anxiety, I want you to start researching ways to combat that problem before you come to class on test day. There are a whole lot of things that you can do. But, whoops, sorry, I'm making my slides move. But first, I want you to think about embracing behavioral relaxation techniques. When we integrate relaxation techniques into our pre-test routine, it can help you relax before and during a test. So things like deep breathing, meditation, yoga, and prayer are all relaxation techniques that can be used to counteract feelings of anxiety and to bring your mind and your body back into equilibrium. So mindfulness is a big part of meditation, but maybe you don't feel compelled to meditate per se, or you have this vision in your head of what meditation looks like. But when you're having anxiety, there are some ways that you can help your brain to refocus. Mindfulness is a basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. When you're suffering from test anxiety, your brain and your body are reacting to that test as if you are in imminent danger. Your brain tells your body to get ready to fight, to flee, or to freeze. And so those things are going to make it hard for you to perform the higher order thinking that you need to perform in order to do well on your exams. So I want you to try, if you struggle with this, I want you to try the five senses drill during an exam. And actually, if we were in class today, I would have had everyone do this together, and it is incredibly relaxing. It's a 3-minute breathing exercise that can help you refocus your attention and restore your focus and restore calm to your brain and to your body. What it is after 2 deep breaths, you silently note 3 things that you see, hear, and feel. And then you note what you smell and what you taste before finishing the exercise with 2 more deep breaths. So actually at home, you can do this right now. Go ahead and you can pause this video and follow the instructions on the screen. And when you're done, you can start the video again, okay? Okay, welcome back. I hope that you really enjoyed the mindfulness exercise that I gave you. The next thing is in class, we were going to do 2 Kahoots created about nursing theorists, basically examples of maybe a nurse performing a skill or doing something at work, and then how that would relate to a different nursing theory. So I will see if I can get those Kahoots up and running in the non-live game format for you to practice using that information. The next thing in class is we were going to do a concept map, but I'm going to give you a quick introduction to concept mapping and care planning, and then I'll have separate videos on each of those, okay? So concept maps came about in the field of education and not nursing. They are a way to find meaning with complex concepts and systems, things that might be really hard to think about because of how large they are and how complex they are. So in nursing, we can use them to show meaningful relationships between large amounts of data needed for nursing care plans. So in class, we were going to use our Lewis textbook. There's a case study that starts on page 460, and you would draw this concept map. And again, I'll have another video about that. So a care plan is simply, in its most simplest form, the way that we communicate the nursing process. So we did learn about the nursing process in our pre-lecture videos, and this is the way that you communicate that information to others. So in class, we were going to do a nursing care plan, and again, I'll have a separate video about this. I do want to remind you that outcomes or goals should be SMART, and that means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. You'll have to provide 3 interventions with the rationale. Rationale is just why did you do this, okay? And then you'll have to provide 3 evaluations, so 1 for each of this goals or the outcomes. So an example would be goal met as patient ambulated 3 times during my shift. If your goal or your outcome was that the patient would ambulate, 3 or less times. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me or your local instructor, and we will do our very best to help you. The separate videos, including concept mapping and care planning, I want you to practice those skills while you're watching the video, but you do not have anything to turn in, okay? Thanks so much.